Hey guys, what's going on? How you doing? I've been sick for the last couple of days. I think I ate something weird. I don't know. But yeah, like a little stomach flu kind of thing or whatever. So kind of on the mend from that. But I did get to sit home and watch the Nintendo Direct today. I'm kind of surprised at how many people didn't like the Direct. It's mixed. There's people that really liked it. There's people that didn't like it. But one thing's becoming very clear for me on the Switch, with Sony kind of like deciding to leave their Japanese roots a little bit more behind and go into like the more Western and storytelling type games and stuff like that. It seems like Nintendo's kind of picked up the slack and it's kind of become the Japanese, pseudo Japanese system. So I think from here on out, besides a few stuff that maybe Sony's got locked up, you're going to start seeing a lot more JRPGs and things like that we really saw like on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 back in the day. And then like around PlayStation 3, we started seeing this transition with Sony where they started like having more of their Western studios kind of step up. So it really seems like to me that if you're somebody that really likes those types of games, you probably love this Direct. You probably like the Switch. So let's talk about some of these games that showed up at the Direct. Fire Emblem Engage. I had no intuition or heard anything or ever thought that maybe that they would do maybe like more DLC for Three Houses. But this seems to be a tie-in to the original Fire Emblem. So Mirth seems to be in this game, and he's been sleeping for 1,000 years, from what it sounds like. Fire Emblem Engage is apparently coming out in January 20th, 2023. So that's a little bit nuts. Saw a couple other games get ported over. It Takes Two. The one I'm excited for, Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. If you don't know what Fatal Frame is, it has to do with spirits and ghosts, and you have this like spectral camera, and that's kind of how you defend yourself, as you take pictures of the ghosts. But Fatal Frame, this one, it's supposed to be in a creepy like I think it's like in a sanatorium. They said a hospital, but it kind of looks like a sanatorium. So I'm curious about that one. I've always liked the Fatal Frame series, so I'm really excited to finally get that, and that is going to be finally coming on, they just said early 2023. There was a couple of games that did kind of bring the Direct down, because I just don't think here's the deal. There's going to be stuff like SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. There's a really strange fitness boxing with Fist of the North Star. Tunic is finally coming over on the 27th of this month. Okay, one that I'm excited for that I think nobody else is really excited for, maybe it brought the Direct up a little bit more for me, was Front Mission. We're finally getting the Front Mission series here in America. It's being translated. I do wish they kind of went with the Octopath HD 2D for the series, but because the art style is kind of like a little bit bland to me, but similar to Advance Wars whenever we get that. I feel like the art style that WayForward went with that. It's probably not what I would have chosen, but I am excited for Front Mission. All right, so this one I absolutely loved. I was super hyped up, even though I was in bed. I was kind of like on top of my seat kind of thing. Octopath Traveler 2, and it's coming soon. February 24th, 2023 is when that's coming to the Switch, and I love all the HD 2D stuff. I really, every time I see one though, there's like a part in the back of my head, I'm like, please redo this with Chrono Trigger. Like, Chrono Trigger is stupid expensive. It's hard to get on most things. The other ones that are like downloadable versions of that game just suck. Please just redo Chrono Trigger in this format. I freaking love it. Okay, next big one for me, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I like the first game a lot. I like those like strategy games, so I'm kind of excited to see what this is. From what it seems like, they've kind of gone from, it's almost more XCOM 2-ish like, so we'll have to see. N64, we're getting some updates. It's like Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1 through 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, Excite Bike 64. All those I could have seen coming regardless, but we are getting a GoldenEye. So now that makes me wonder, are we getting a GoldenEye remake on Xbox? But seeing GoldenEye, that's very cool. Now, having said that, I don't know how much I'll play, because I just don't think the game aged very well. I'm sorry. And I think a lot of people are going to be shocked when they play it. It's a game that everybody thinks that they want again, but then when they play it, I don't think they really want it as much as they think they did. It's similar to what happened to Mario 64 when 3D All-Stars came out. Is like, I started hearing a lot of talk from people. It's like, oh, this didn't age so well. I'm like, yeah, this first generation 3D games, they're great memories. Don't revisit it because you're going to think differently. More DLC for Mario Strikers and Mario Kart coming up. That's obvious. We did get a little sneak peek on that, so that's cool. Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is coming October 28th, finally. So we're finally getting it. Can't wait to play it. Looks good. I just love Platinum style games, but I will say I'm probably at the point now after playing Astral Chain, I'm kind of like really frothing at the mouth for an Astral Chain 2. I love that game so much. Then Nintendo trolled us with Miyamoto about Pikmin Bloom, and we're all like, oh, where's Pikmin 4? Pikmin 4 got announced, so everybody wanted that, and they announce it, so I'm really kind of miffed as to like why so many people didn't like this direct. I'm just really, I feel like there's a lot of good games that have been announced here. Another one that looks really interesting to me, Rain Code, spring 2023. It's kind of like a murder mystery with some like demons in it, and you go into like an astral plane and fight demons or something to that effect. It's very strange looking. The gameplay is very different looking, so it's got me intrigued. Okay, Sifu's getting ported. Let's see. Resident Evil. The Resident Evil games are coming over. They're coming over as a cloud version. If you've got any other console, play them on there. It's a better experience. Anytime you have to do streaming, it sucks. I hate it. For people to only have a Switch, maybe like an adult that got a Switch for their kid, and that's all they have, it's cool that we're getting cloud streaming versions of all these Resident Evil games. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. So it looks like it's kind of being attached to the remake of Final Fantasy. And from what I can tell, this seems like this is running native on the Switch. It looks great. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, per se, but I know a lot of people are, so I thought that was a pretty good win as far as like games being announced. And then for Kirby's 30th, we got Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which apparently was a Wii game, and I didn't know that. But I've never played it, so I'm excited to play it. Apparently it's supposed to be pretty good. But I will say the Switch is really saturated with Kirby stuff. We had that first, what was it, Star Allies, then there was that free-to-play game of Kirby. I can't remember what the heck it was called. We got Forgotten Land. Everybody should play Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land is an excellent game. And then we have this one, and I believe we have Kirby's Dream Buffet. So we have 5 titles, and ever since 2017. So that's kind of a lot for the Switch. But hey, Kirby's getting a lot of love now, and then they'll probably forget about him for 20 years. That seems to be how Nintendo does things sometimes. Okay, and the last one, I can kind of understand people's frustration with this. It was just a little teaser thing, showing a couple little bits. The trailer is really short, but we did get Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm glad they didn't just call it Breath of the Wild 2. It is the sequel to Breath of the Wild 2, but it's just under a different subtitle. And it is May 12th, 2023. So it's still a few months off. However, we got a date. It sounds like they're going to stick to it because they've been kind of pushing back for a while. And, you know, I have sympathy for anybody in game development with everything that's been going on in COVID the last couple of years. I know for quite a few months, Nintendo just stopped. It's just like nothing happened at Nintendo. All game development and everything halted. And I think that's part of the reason for a lot of delays. All right, and what a day. Sony's State of Play, just got done watching it. There's quite a few games I liked that I saw there, so let's go through it. First of all, I'm not huge into the fighting scene anymore. I just kind of casually play them, and they're mostly, I enjoy them as couch co-op games for the most part. I don't really enjoy playing online as much. Tekken 8 was announced, and it looked pretty. And it looks like it's a PS5 only game. They only had PS5 listed on there, so okay, Yakuza game that never came out, Like a Dragon, Ishin. So it's a remake of a game that never came to the West. It looks like it's in about 1800s Japan, possibly, something like that. I don't know how far back it goes. I don't know much about this game, but I just learned it was a remake through the live stream that I was watching. So it looks cool. I really liked Like a Dragon, like the new Yakuza Like a Dragon. Team Ninja's new game, Rise of Ronin. That looked interesting to me. A lot of people were like, "Ooh, Ghost of Tsushima," but it's kind of like in that time period that the last Samurai took place in, like a little bit before, as the Western culture starts coming into Japan and starts having an influence. And that looks insanely interesting to me. It was really weird because for a Team Ninja game, it looks almost something more like Ubisoft, like an Assassin's Creed game to me. And then like the last one of the last shots in the thing is like the person diving off and having these like wing gliders or something coming out, which definitely reminded me of like Assassin's Creed 2 when Da Vinci gives you like the glider. So more God of War Ragnarok was shown, which I still haven't gotten to sit down and play the first one. I'm almost done with Spider-Man. I'm like on the last mission today, and I'm just like finishing up some other missions. So when I get done with Spider-Man, I'm going to start jumping into God of War. So then I'll be prepared for God of War Ragnarok. But I like the Norse mythology and everything. Norse mythology, there's a lot of family ties apparently to it that we didn't originally know. But also Norse mythology is just like one of the more interesting ones to me. But I love Norse mythology and I love all that stuff. And I especially love it when people take Norse mythology and mix it in with like heavy metal. It's just like badass. All right, so that'll about do it for my impressions on both Nintendo Direct and Sony State of Play. I think I got a lot of good things coming up. I'm looking forward to playing, and I probably won't have enough time to play all these games that I want to play. So for me, I'm not upset by anything that happened today. I still think it's insane that people were upset by the Nintendo Direct. Like a lot of those games that they showed that I really want to play, I probably won't have the time to even sit down for a lot of those. So anyways, you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are you looking forward to? And I will see you guys in the next video.